Hello everyone, my name's Brian, but you can call me the Bugler, and today we're going to be doing a complete Sunbreaker Titan class breakdown. And that's going to include the class abilities, the grenades, and which super from which tree is better. Now, if you're coming from the future, don't bother watching the first 5 or so minutes of this video, because we're going to be covering the barricades. I'm going to release that in a separate video soon, so people can refer to it easier in the future. The first class ability is called Towering Barricade. It creates a large shield in front of you, followed by Rally Barricade. This creates a shield that's only about waist high, but when you crouch behind it, it reloads your weapon. We're going to take a look at the duration of these shields first. I'm going to split the screen in a moment, and when I do, I want you to pay attention to the size of both shields. The top shield is Towering Barricade, and the bottom shield is Rally Barricade. The top shield is much taller than the bottom one, whereas the bottom one is wider on both ends, providing more coverage from the sides. And when our timer is up, you'll see that both shields only last for 20 seconds, the exact same time. Both shields also share the same cooldown, 36 seconds, and these cooldowns begin exactly when the shield goes out, meaning that the effective cooldown, or the time that you're without a shield, is only 16 seconds. Now in this clip, I just want to show you that the Siegebreaker Titan's Sun Warrior skill does not affect the cooldown of the class ability. It's also an interesting note that you can change between shields without resetting the cooldowns, unlike your other skills, meaning that you can switch between the Rally and Tower without resetting the cooldown. Let's take a look at the defensive capabilities of the shields. First up is Towering Barricade. You can see that I can safely stand behind it without being hurt by splash damage. It's also worth noting that both shields share the same amount of health. You can see that this Cabal enemy is unable to break either shield. We'll take a look at Rallying Barricade next. But before we move on, I want to show you a little secret that I found out by using the Towering Barricade. Something that you might not know and could save you in the future. Towering Barricade protects you from knockback. Yes, something that the Sentinel shield cannot do. And as long as you're on the other side of that Towering Barricade when there's a knockback, you're immune to its effects. You can even have a snack while you watch your teammates get crushed. Alright, let's move on to Rally Barricade. As you can see, Rally Barricade leaves a little more to be desired when it comes to defensive capabilities. If you're using the kneel emote behind the shield, you can still be hit if an enemy is a little bit taller than you. But that's not the real point of this shield. The point of this shield is to increase your offensive capabilities, which it does in spades. I'm testing this against the modular mind for a few reasons. First, this enemy doesn't move around much. Second, it's from the beta, so most players watching this video will have seen it, and I won't spoil anything for you. When I crouch behind this shield, I instantly reload my rocket launcher, increasing my damage per second dramatically. In total, I do about 12,000 damage and can solo this phase of the boss all by myself. And don't forget, your teammates can utilize these effects too. All they have to do is crouch behind the shield like you. Let's move on to the grenades now. The Sunbreaker Titan has access to the Incendiary Grenade, the Fusion Grenade, and the Thermite Grenade. We'll be testing them in that order, starting with the Incendiary Grenade. Once again, we'll be testing this on the modular mind. I'll be showing you an example of the maximum damage you can do with the Incendiary Grenade, and the minimum amount of damage. So for the maximum amount of damage, we do an initial damage of 669 for the explosion, plus 7 for the impact of hitting him with the grenade, and then 5 ticks of 42 damage, for a total of 886. That's not too bad, and the explosive radius of the grenade is actually pretty large, so it's great for dealing with groups. Although, the fall-off is actually fairly severe. You'll see now when I throw the grenade at the modular mind, I hit him with just the tail end of the explosion. This explosion does not deal much at all, only 84 damage, but the burn damage does not suffer any fall-off, still dealing 5 ticks of 42 damage for a total of 294. Here's the most disappointing grenade, the Fusion Grenade. It's supposed to deal additional damage if you tag an enemy with it, which is true. Here, we deal 2 ticks of 345 for some reason instead of 1 just explosion. Add the 7 damage for impact, and we have a grand total of 697. Pretty poor for a single target grenade, but it gets worse. If you throw the grenade at the modular mind's feet and don't stick him, it only does 170 damage. This is abysmal. It's less than the burn damage from the Incendiary Grenade. Now onto the most damaging grenade, the Thermite Grenade. When this grenade is thrown, a trail of thermite is thrown out in the direction of momentum, so if it bounces off a wall or an enemy, it might not go where you want it. Here we hit the modular mine with all 4 instances of thermite. Each one deals a total of 752, for a grand total of 3,008 damage. This is the grenade that I use and would recommend in most situations. Not only does it do great damage, it's also an excellent zoning tool. If enemies are heading towards you in a single file line, all you have to do is throw it at the ground to kill everyone in front of you and keep them away from you for an extended period of time. The other grenades have their uses, but they're just not for me. We're moving on to the big event next. In one corner we have the super from Fireforged, and in the other we have the super from Sunbreaker. First up is Fireforged. We're going to test the maximum damage that we can deal to modular mine. First, I create a towering barricade nice and close so I can avoid the knockback. I do this so I can try to get the maximum of 6 hammers out by throwing each one at point blank. Unfortunately, the modular mine knocks me away before I could get off a 6th hammer, although I did get all the data I needed. I did about 6,000 damage with these hammers. Not too bad, about double the damage of a thermite grenade. But we can do much better. Not only are you safer when you use the Sunbreaker version of this super, you also do an amount of damage that completely dwarfs your Fireforged counterpart. The sunspots alone will deal 41 ticks of 69 damage for a grand total of almost 3,000 damage. That's pretty good. If you include all the damage from the hammers, we deal almost 10,600 damage. The winner of my recommendation is Sunbreaker in a landslide. Not only is the super much better, but the neutral game is excellent with all the reduced cooldown rates that you get by utilizing sunspots. The Fireforged Titan just doesn't stack up. All of his skills are very situational and really don't do much. It's a shame that such an excellent melee ability is tied to what I find to be a useless skill tree. Alright, that wraps up my Sunbreaker Titan complete skill breakdown. Over the next couple of days, I'm going to be releasing 2 videos, the first of which will be about the barricades, so if you've seen that in this video, you don't have to bother watching. The next video will be information about the clan that I made for Destiny 2 on the Xbox One, which I'll give you information about how to join it when that comes. Basically, it's going to be easy. If you want in, you get in. That's it. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. For my next skill breakdown, I'm looking to you guys. The first comment that asks me to do a skill tree that I have not done yet from the beta, I'll do. Simple as that. And another quick side note on those videos. For the most part, all the information there still stands for the final release. If I find any discrepancies in that information, I will update the descriptions. The only one that I've found so far is in the Striker Titan, in that his skill, Terminal Velocity, is not glitched in the final release. It actually works here, which is great. Everything else so far has remained the same, but if that changes, I'll let you know. So thanks for watching, and good luck getting through the exclusion zone.